Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ouachita News Show. We're bringing you the latest Ouachita news this week, and we've got a surprise.
That's right, but before we get there, here's a quick COVID update for you. As of March 1st, we have 7 active cases and 27 people quarantined. You can continue to check obu.edu/coronavirus to stay up to date.
Henry's back with the weather this week, so let's take a look at our forecast.
Good morning, Ouachita Weather Watchers. After the crazy weather this weekend, we've got some warmer temperatures coming your way this week. Today will be mostly sunny with a high of 65 and a low of 40. We'll see similar weather tomorrow, but there's a chance for rain and some cooler temperatures on Friday afternoon. Saturday and Sunday we'll have highs in the 60s with lows around 40, but we'll see abundant sunshine this weekend, so go outside and soak it up. As always, predictions are by AccuWeather, and that's the forecast, whether you like it or not.
Thanks, Henry. Well, this week is Healthy Relationships Week, and I had a chance to catch up with Dr. Ian Kosh and Mrs. Judy Duvall to see what the Elrod Center has in store for this week. It's Healthy Relationships Week at Ouachita, and I had the opportunity to talk to Mrs. Judy Duvall and Dr. Ian Kosh about Healthy Relationships Week and what students can learn from attending the sessions that the Elrod Center has put on.
This particular week has been part of the Elrod Center since the beginning, which we love. It's very much a part of who we are at the Elrod Center. It began as Marriage and the Family Week, and then through the years we changed it to Dating, Engagement, and Marriage Week, and then we finally landed on Healthy Relationships Week.
We like to bring in, speakers who have a different age, different perspective, and try to help students understand. This is a very dynamic field. And maybe in some ways one where you never stop learning. We don't want people to stop learning. We can always be better at managing relationships, developing relationships. And really it relates to the fact that at a university, most of the people that will graduate here will be leaders. And so even from a leadership point of view, if you're leading in any way, you're dealing with people.
Healthy Relationships Week is not just for romantic relationships, it's for relationships of all kinds.
We want them to leave the week with some really solid tools for how they can establish good, solid relationships. And not just romantic, but with friends, family members, co-workers, and certainly spouses, perhaps one day. But we want to give them tools so they flourish and succeed in all of their relationships in all different areas.
We just realize it's a work that's never finished. As we refine it, as we get feedback from the students, we try to make those adjustments, be sensitive to that, because society's changing and needs are changing, and we want to be sure that we, remain relevant in what it is we're trying to share.
For the Ouachita News Show, I'm Caroline Derby. There are several breakout sessions left for this week, and don't forget about Refuge tomorrow night.
This past weekend, the theater department presented this year's Muse project, The Old Man and the Old Moon, and it was directed by senior theater major Molly Kennedy. We've got Molly and Mitchell in the studio with us today.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Molly has acted in a number of Ouachita theater productions, but The Old Man and the Old Moon was her first chance to direct. So Molly, tell me what it was like getting to direct your first theater production.
It was really exciting. We started the whole process over a year ago, so it's been, a year in the making. We closed the show last night, and so, it was kind of terrifying at first, and then I realized how much of a collaborative process it really is, and so it was a lot easier knowing that it wasn't all on me, and so I got to work with the most amazing cast and crew and really get to create something beautiful with them, so it was just absolutely a blast.
Sure. Is there anything that anything in particular you learned through this experience of directing?
Yeah, lots of things. I've learned, everyone has their preferences on, what they want a director to be, and you can't please everyone. And that's something that I really struggled with, but I think ended up finding the right balance of, letting them have their creative freedom while also making sure that what they were doing on stage was what I had envisioned. And so I think together as cast and crew, we really created something that I'm very proud of, and yeah, that's what I learned.
Great. And what does the future look like for you in regards to directing?
We'll see. So this weekend is the All Night Theater Festival. I'm the senior member of the Triumvirate, which is 3 members that put together the production. So I will be helping cast and choose what shows we will be doing for this weekend. And so that's a little bit on the directing side. I'm not officially a director for any of the shows, but I will be helping facilitate that. So hopefully, you know, in the future, I will get more opportunities, hopefully, to direct professionally. In the fall, I will be teaching high school theater, and so I'll be directing my little high school students and some middle school students as well. So I'm really excited to get to do that.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks for being here, Molly, and good luck with your future directing endeavors. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Mitchell. The theater department is holding their annual all-night theater event this weekend. And then they'll present Little Women in April, and the student-directed one acts as well.
Model UN is a 2-semester political science class taught by Dr. Kevin Brennan that competes in a regional competition every year, and this year it was via Zoom. Mallory Gaston had a chance to interview Anna Roussel about this year's class.
Last week, Ouachita was represented at Model UN, and I had the pleasure of catching up with Anna Roussel just to talk about what took place at Model UN and what this Model UN means to her.
So Model UN, or Model United Nations, is kind of a learning experience for us to be able to learn about and see how the United Nations works normally, and be able to just kind of put that into use so that it's not only just learning about it in a classroom setting, but doing something practical. OBU did very well. According to Dr. Brennan, he's been here 27 years, and this is the best we've ever done in Model UN. So we won 6 awards total. 3 of us won Outstanding Delegates in our committee. 2 people won Position Paper Awards, and then our delegation as a whole won Outstanding Delegation for the whole conference. This is my first year to do Model UN, and I was on a committee with a lot of really talented people from a lot of different schools. So honestly, I went into this year kind of hoping for it to be a learning experience so I could do well the next year. And so when they called Mexico for my committee, I looked at Riley Sloan and I was like, did they just say what I think they just said?
For the Ouachita News Show, I'm Mallory Gatson.
Model UN will be offered again next fall, and contact Dr. Brennan if it's a class you'd be interested in taking.
Katie's here to give us the latest on sports at Ouachita. Katie?
Thanks, Elizabeth. The softball team had a really good weekend on the road against Oklahoma Baptist University, winning 2 of its 3 games against the Bison. The Tigers will be on the road again this weekend in Searcy to face off against Harding University. The baseball team was also in Shawnee this weekend, but dropped all 3 of its games against OKBU. The Tigers will be back at Rab Rogers Field this weekend to take on Harding. Both of Ouachita's basketball teams competed in the first round of the Great American Conference playoffs on Monday night. The men's team was able to hold off the Wonder Boys at Arkansas Tech in Russellville, defeating them 70-69. They'll take on Oklahoma Baptist in Shawnee tonight in the quarterfinals, and if they win, they'll face the winner of the Southern Arkansas East Central game on Friday night. The women's team hosted SAU and defeated the Mule Riders with a buzzer beater by senior Eden Crow, winning 85-84. The Tigers are in Weatherford, Oklahoma tonight for the quarterfinals, facing off against Southwestern Oklahoma State University. If they win, the women will play the winner of the game between Henderson and Southern Nazarene University on Friday. Well, that's all I've got for right now, but be sure to catch this week's episode of the Roar Rundown on Friday. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Katie. Well, that's all we have for you this week.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Ouachita News and at Ouachita Weather Watch.
Mask up, stay safe, and tune in next week for more of the latest Ouachita news.